Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Caleb here. And I know that a lot of you guys watching my channel are not in the United States, but a lot of my content, whenever I'm giving advice on, finding a client, finding a job, getting paid, and all the money talks and everything, it's really targeted to the US market, like US clients. So one of the things that we all know is the US paid the most for graphic designers. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're thinking about money, then the US is the place to go. Basically, nowhere pay the same amount of money as the people are willing to pay you in Silicon Valley. So that's a fact. So one of the questions that I get most is how can I actually get into the US business if I'm not physically in the United States? And that is the questions that I'm gonna answer, and that is the topic of today's video. So before I get into that though, I do want to tell you a cold truth about all this outsourcing thing is your location will have a price tag on yourself. It's not about your race, it's not about your color scheme and all that. I mean, me myself, I'm not like I definitely don't look like white or anything, right? I'm an Asian. I'm from Hong Kong regionally, and if I'm in Hong Kong, right, I definitely cannot demand the same price tag as what I'm demanding, what I'm charging right now when I'm in Canada. I'm not even from the US right now. What I'm charging in Canada. So your location definitely have a price tag on yourself. If you're India, then you have an Indian price tag, right? If you're in Europe, France, Germany, or whatever, you have that location price tag. So it is not really about your color scheme. I have a lot of I know quite a few people that are originally from Ukraine, and once when they move to the US, they basically their salary bump up like tenfold, right? So it really depends on where your location is. So that is the cold truth about it, right? So the easiest way to get US client is basically just move to the US, then you will get US client, and then you will get the US salary, and that's it. But like, how can I actually still do all that, right, when I'm not physically there? So that is the thing that we're gonna get into, right? So when you think about that, you have to put yourself in the employer perspective, right? Like, why would company in the US like to hire people that are not in the US, right? Like, company definitely like to hire people that are more local, more near, like location wise near to them, right? But like, so why would they do that? So one of the reasons why I can think of is they cannot find the talents within their location, right? Within their community location. That's why they need to hire somebody outside of that, right? And the second reason is, the people within, like, around them is too expensive. They want to look for cheaper option. Like I said, location have a price tag on different things, right? So if I cannot find the talents here and I cannot fit my budget, then I'm gonna look for somebody else's. So what does that all mean to you, right? If you're a freelancer, what does that mean to you? So it means that there are only two routes you can go. One is you want to be the people that they cannot find for, right? You want to be the talents that they cannot find in their location. And if you're not that, right, then you're gonna be the cheaper option, right? So when you're a cheaper option, you just cannot demand the same kind of pay for these kind of companies, and this is where all the low budget clients are coming from, right? So there's only two ways to go. One is you be the talents that they cannot find, and second is you just be cheaper, right? So like, how does that all work, right? So if you look at this diagram, because the US has a lot of people too, right? There are a lot of talents. So if you're not doing awesome, amazing, superb work, then you're going to be the lower brackets, right? So what do you think about who is doing very amazing work, right? If you look at Dribbble, the guy called Mike, he does a lot of illustration, he does a lot of website design, and I believe that he demands a lot higher than people are charging in the US, right? So when you're doing that level of work that people cannot find in the US and they really like your style, then yes, you can get paid a lot of money even if you're working with the US clients. But if you're just doing good work, because a lot of people are doing good work in the US too, right? They have no shortage of people that are doing good work, then your price is definitely going to be lower, and that is a cold true fact as well, right? Your price is definitely going to be lower if you're not doing amazing work. So there are other factors that can influence all that as well, right? When you think about that, what other factors that people would care more about hiring freelancer is that, like, how big the project is, right? When you think about that, like, an illustration project is a lot simpler than a UX design project, right? There's a lot less communication between me and the client and the contractors, right? So when I'm hiring people outsource, I really don't think too much about the location if I'm just looking for an illustrator, right? I actually work with a team called Rocket Boy. I mean, they does amazing work there in Poland, right? So Poland, usually the salary is a lot less, right? But because that type of project is just very, very simple, I don't really think about the price too much. They're charging quite a lot of money, and I just pay for that, right? Because they do amazing work. So the location doesn't really matter that much when the project type is not that complicated. But if you're thinking about, I'm a UX designer and that require a lot of, communication, phone calls and all that, then that is a big factors as well, right? So location, the type of project definitely has a big factors as well. If you're a local designer, then probably you will be able to get more US clients. It doesn't really matter. And if you are, illustrator, simple work, then you'll probably be fine, right? So before I end the video, this is like a lot of information already. Like before I end the video, I do want to have like one more thought as well, because like I said, right, I'm not from Canada, and eventually if I do want to move back to Hong Kong, how can I still maintain all of these, stuff, right? Like I said, if I'm in Hong Kong, I have a Hong Kong price tag, right? But one thing that you can beat that, concept is if you turn yourself not as a freelancer anymore, if you present yourself as a business, as a company, then it will make the whole thing a lot simpler, right? Because when people hire you, they don't hire you yourself, right? They hire the business. So for example, I have a business right now, and the way that I need to do is, instead of me talking to the client directly, I have to have a team, right? So if I move back to Hong Kong, I'm gonna have to hire somebody in Canada that are doing the phone call with me. I can be the mastermind behind all this, but somebody has to be more client facing in this location, right? Maybe build a couple of more freelancer in Canada as well, to make myself look more like a US Canada based business, right? And then I be the mastermind behind it. So what does it mean to you again, right? Is that, if you want to get into the US market, you may want to think about, opening a US business, right? Find somebody in the US that want to partner with you, like find a couple of local designer, whatever, to partner with you and open a business in the United States. And then from there, right, you can get some contacts in the US and start the business from there. You be the mastermind behind it. Then you can demand the same money that as other people demanding, right? And if your business does run to be very successful, then you can move yourself to the US as well. Then that is another way that you can get into this whole business. And that is all for the tips. Like this is all what I can think about when you are offshore and you want to work with US client, because I do see a lot of benefits from that. And if you like the content, definitely give me a thumbs up and follow me on the social media links down below. Subscribe to my channel as well, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Cheers.